¿Qué ondas, primos?
Primas.
Y primes.
Welcome to my
Primos.
Primos.
My
Primo
podcast.
My name is Fredie.
My name's Kevin Garcia.
My name is Elia Maria Madrid.
This is Chikume, whenever I can make it.
My Primos podcast discusses all things fandom and pop culture,
From comic books,
Movies?
To whatever obsession we have this week.
but with a Latine
Malatine.
perspective. Remember, we're all primos,
We're all primes.
We're all primos.
no matter what part of the world we're from. ¿Qué ondas, primos, primas, and primes? And welcome back to my Primos podcast. My name is Primo Fredie, and with me tonight is my primo and yours, Mr. Kevin Garcia _com. Say what's up, Kevin.
What's up, Kevin?
He's back, everybody. He is back. There was a big gaping hole over here. It's now
Look,
filled.
I listened to the last episode and I heard that our other co-host properly introduced herself. So
Definitely. Of course, with us tonight, my prima and yours, the Spice Illustrations, Elia Maria Madrid. Say what's up, Elia.
What's up, Elia?
yes,
Yeah, look at those. Look at those hands. Those hands. Those hands. Okay, I don't know. I need little hands too. I need something. But guys, we're having fun. Of course, we have a special guest tonight returning. We didn't scare him off. Mr. Rafael Flores Jr., the creator of the return of Camazotz, the Camazots comics. Say what's up, Rafael.
Hey guys, what's up, man? Happy to be back, man.
Yay!
I'm glad you're back, man. Glad you're back. But we're
And
gonna
you
get right
always
into
have the most epic hair, man. I
Yeah.
always it is the greatest coif I've seen.
I'm so
Goes
upset that I'm a Latina
Goes
that
without-
didn't get the curly hair genes. I'm forever upset.
It's a blessing and a
those that don't
curse.
have, I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll take the curse, whatever comes with it, like getting pulled over by cops, whatever, like getting tangles,
It happens, bro.
like whatever comes with it, I'm down. Like, give it to me, I'll take it as long as I can just go like this and do that.
Yo,
Yeah.
slow-mo.
Look, you guys made fun of me because I used to have the rat tail, but the reason I had the rat tail was specifically so I could have something move around.
No, that was just a bad decision in 1993 that just needed to stop.
I'm not
sorry.
saying it wasn't a bad decision, but that's why I had it.
Hashtag
Okay.
bring back the rat tail.
Hey,
No,
I'll do
kill the
it.
rat tail.
No.
Chop it off. Oh no! Why? Don't
I'm thinking about turning
It's
it
like
into
having-
like a mullet or something, you know?
Heck
See,
yeah.
Just shave one side and then,
Yeah.
and then like comb over that and then be like,
Business in the front, party in the back.
Mhm.
Listen.
But it'll look good because it's curly. Like, it'll
yeah.
look like it'll look like
Reverse mullet.
Lars from Steven Universe.
it
Like
would.
that.
Aw.
Do a
Yeah.
reverse mullet, shave the whole back, but leave the front.
No.
Like a devil lock. Like
It-
the
it-
Mystic
it-
Devil
it-
Lock.
you could be like cousin it, and then be like, but look in the background, very respectful.
Oh.
No. That's terrifying.
Oh.
I was watching somebody right now do a Spanish cosplay of Wednesday,
Ooh.
and she had it. No sé, it
Oh, you
Thing.
mean the thing.
The
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
right? And it's like soy miércoles, and it's cosita, and they call it cosa o cosita thing, right?
Yeah.
What did they call cousin it in Spanish?
Eso.
Eso?
I don't
Eso,
know.
primo eso,
Both we
Primo,
would
eh?
guess. I have to look it up. I
Yeah,
would
that's
think
my
so.
guess.
cousin
God, now I
it
gotta watch it in Spanish.
in Spanish.
My friend from Mexico always tells me that the better way to watch everything is in Spanish. And
Yeah.
honestly, I've seen some anime in Spanish, and yeah, he's not wrong.
Hey, the Shrek movies dubbed. Let me tell you something.
I heard
Top
it's
tier.
crazy.
It's top tier. I actually watched Shrek 2 in theaters in Mexico for when it premiered, and I was dying. And then I came back to the States and watched it. I'm like, man, some of these jokes, like they're good jokes, but the Spanish ones, they were great.
No, man, I can't find. It says all it's telling me is how to say cousin in Spanish. Then no one apparently.
What you need to do is search Google.mx and then see what you find. You have to, 'cause
All right,
like,
Primos, if you can, I'm gonna leave it up to the audience.
Yeah.
Tell me what was cousin its name in Spanish, por favor.
You know
Watching
what?
They gave him
We're-
like a
we're-
formal name.
I was gonna say, watch. His name is Cousin It in Spanish. Like that's his whole name.
No, what to be like something like cousin Javier, just like a straight up like, oh, that's Javier.
Alejandro Gustavo.
Alejandro Gustavo Javier
I can see
the
that.
third.
And it's not like
Adam.
you don't even have to replace his lip flaps or anything, right? It's still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Well, guys, of course, I want to just put it out there because you can follow us at My Primos Podcast, and of course, visit myprimospodcast.com for all our updates. Now, just for warning, it's getting close to the end of the year, which means it's getting close to the end of our season. I very much am proud to say that we put out week to week content. Sometimes, we get breaks and things happen, but for the most part, it's hard. It's hard to make consistent content on a weekly basis. And those that do and have, hey,
Power to
props
them.
to you,
Mhm.
power to you, because it's awesome and it's hard work.
Yep.
But I'm very proud to say that we are climbing, if not very near to like our 200th episode or so of this show. So
We're like this close to catching up to The Simpsons.
Yep.
very close, very close. Which, by the way,
We're
didn't The
like-
Simpsons like end recently?
No,
Did
Wasn't
it?
there a gag or
No.
something like a?
Season
Like a-
36.
But it said something
Wait.
along the lines of like the last Simpsons episode ever. Like that was the name of the episode.
Was that
Yeah,
for
but they
real
do that.
though?
They said Bart Simpson had a birthday for the first time, like a real birthday. Like he's no longer 10 years old. So
No,
we'll
but
see.
they've had other incidents where they moved. Anyway, back on topic. We are growing and staying and steadily growing. We have amazing guests like Rafael, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here, guys. I want to thank, of course, everybody that's been on the show and everybody listening and supporting us. Primos out there. We always say it. No matter where you're from, we're all primos. And I thank everybody because we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have the community, the comunidad behind us, willing to share their time, their stories, their lives. Sharing your art is a very personal thing, even though we want to be public with it. It is still a personal thing we're putting out there in front of so many people. So I appreciate every creative person out there, every content creator, every artist, every musician, every editor, everybody that's ever just helped us and got us where we are today. So I want to just put a big thank you for all the primos out there, and stay tuned. We're going to do more and more in the next years. This is our first full year doing one with Elia with us, and secondly, of course, just doing video consistently. So we've been getting a lot of good feedback on that. So I want to just put that out there and thank you before we jump in. But Rafael, as Mr. Kevin Garcia has just alluded to, we have a great creator with us today, Mr. Rafael Flores. And right behind you, we have a big, huge, dope poster.
I love the branding.
Return of
I just realized
Camazotz.
you have two bats behind you, don't you?
Yeah, it's
Whoa. Which is the better bat, man?
Color
Which is the
info,
better
I
bat?
love it. Yeah.
Hey man, Camazotz was the original Batman, right?
100%.
Yo.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I want to hear, man.
It predates
Well-
that Bruce. What's his name?
Definitely. Well, let's talk about Camazotz. I mean, we have Volume 1 release, right? And you
Volume
also
1, yeah.
debuted the book on your first show, which we're really excited about. We was at Textino Comic Con.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about the reception of the first book and how that's been for you since we last spoke?
It's been great, man. The reception has been amazing. Way better than I expected, honestly, because this is my first comic. Who knows? I thought I was, I could have been terrible. I don't know. I wrote it. So, no, everybody's been loving it. I'm
Vote of
super
confidence.
proud of it too. I'm super proud of it. The work that the team has done, all our cover artists, the interior artists, especially Azrael. It's just amazing. Working with the publisher, Grimcore Studios, it's been so helpful for me to get my start, in the comic book industry. Because before, I couldn't have done it, by myself, like at this level. And getting all this, we've gotten a couple of reviews and stuff like that, and from like websites, and doing shows like this, and
Yeah,
it's
a really
been,
dope website called My Primos Podcast gave it a pretty solid review. If I say say so myself.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was a
And
great
I
book,
trust
good read.
everything they say implicitly.
Everything, except that Kevin doesn't agree that the website wholeheartedly says Zelda 2 is the worst Zelda ever created. Just putting it out there again.
No.
But Rafael, moving past that. So we're here today because you also are promoting book 2. You have a Kickstarter that's live right now.
The return of Camazots.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your book. I'll
Exactly.
give you the floor here, man. Tell us about the new Kickstarter, the new book, the pitch, so everybody that maybe is familiar with your work and can kind of get enticed like we are, or maybe they aren't and want to know why they should get involved, and tell them about the story.
Sure. The Return of Camazotz is a book that I wrote. It's about these two twins. They were inspired by the Mayan hero twins, and the story of them and Camazotz. And I wanted to make this like modern gothic horror version of that tale. And it's the Return of Camazotz. It's about Victor and Vincent. They go to Mexico to kind of honor their deceased mother who committed suicide, and it's a very emotional story. The two brothers are very they have different viewpoints about what happened with the mother, and it's about that tension between them and between what happened, and there's some mystery involved. There's like this almost cultish type secret kind of going around in the background. There's Mayan mythology and giant bats and blood and gore, and it's dope, man. I'm really proud of it. The first issue came out last year, and we're doing the second issue right now. It's live on Kickstarter, and we have 4 great covers. One by Azrael, the main interior artist. We got one by Caetano Valenzuela. He's a great artist. Black Rabbit Comics. Really good, cool dude. And
I love his stuff, dude.
I love that.
I follow
cover.
him online. I love his stuff. His stuff's good.
Yeah, really great stuff. And we also got one by Ariel Medell, who worked on TMNT versus Street Fighter. A great artist. He's gonna do the Chrome variant, like foil cover.
Ooh,
And
nice.
yeah, we also we got an EC Comics like a homage cover too.
Not
that
I
was
love
by-
those.
Nice.
Homage
that
covers
was
always
by
fun.
Alejandro
Uh-huh.
Samada, and yeah, great, man. I love all of these cover artists. They really nailed it, and I'm super proud of this campaign in particular.
When you first told me about this, like almost 2 years ago, I want to say, I love the concept of using Mayan mythology and the culture and the history for a Gothic horror, because I think so often, whenever they're going to show Mesoamerican cultures, it's like Indiana Jones, it's just set piece for the American hero to go do a thing.
Yeah.
But like you could make Mesoamerican stuff. It could be sci-fi, it can be horror, it could be romance, it can be adventure, and I love the idea of taking it and doing this kind of like, I don't want to say Hellboy, but Gothic horror and having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just love that.
I felt like it was just a natural fit for, like, you think about the Mayan and the Aztec mythology and the
Yeah.
religion, and it's like it's so goth already,
Yeah,
And-
for real.
So it was always there. It was just about like showing it to the world, like it's already there, and bring it out into the light, and like don't be afraid to do it. Just do it,
Hell yeah.
And then I love that you were showing it at Texas Comic Con, because that's where other creators could check it out, and you got to meet with other creators as well.
Yeah, man, it was dope. That was my first convention ever. I got seated right next to the Chispa table, and right across from John Avina, who was like the special guest of honor. I was like, oh my god, this is like the greatest table I've ever I could imagine.
And you were right across from Elia too, right there. Elia was right there. You had Pesto Hero right there.
Middle
You
of
had
everything.
Avina right there. David Bowles was somewhere around there too.
Yeah, he was right next to me, man.
no.
And it was great
Yeah,
talking
man,
to
it was-
all the creators there. A lot of them came and they bought the book, or they said, hey, I know you, man. Like, I've been following your stuff. That's so fun to hear that. Like, oh, really? Like, me too, man. I like Quetzalcoatl comic was there.
Martinez, yeah.
Check out those guys, and Sam. Those guys are dope. I was following them. We're kind of friends like online. It's funny, how that happens, and then you meet in person, and it's like, wow, like John Avina too. Like, it was great meeting him. I got a picture with the 3 of us, and it was dope, man. It was one of the best times I've ever had. So we made a lot of money, comics, selling them.
The future greats.
Look at Elia. She's blushing, man. She's
Oh,
like,
I'm
yes.
so happy knowing people had fun at the show. That's why I love helping with it.
It was so great. It was like a family experience for my family, because they were there. They were supporting me. Like, they had the Camazots t-shirts. It was great. They were selling the book while I was signing autographs and stuff. They were like, yeah, hey, read it, man. And it was great. It was a great bonding experience for my family and me, and just meeting the other creators, other Latino creators, especially. It felt like you're meeting all your friends.
You know
buddies.
how exciting and how great it makes us feel to hear that, right? It's like, oh wow, look at this enthusiasm, this warmth, this comunidad we always talk about, right? You know how you can really help and be part of it is by joining the Kickstarter, right? Helping this book get made. You'll get the same feels because you're helping create something that can get out there. Not only that, you bring people together, you bring creators together, and you get a dope, dark ass, bloody story that I really enjoyed. Yeah, you read it for the first time recently. What were your thoughts on the first book?
Dude, like by the third page with like the people who know me and like my vibe, like yeah, I love like cutesy art, I love comedy, but I love consuming horror titles. I love horror so much. So as soon as like I got to like the third page with I don't want to spoil anything, but like when the mother is on the page and during the nightmare, I was like, let's go. Like I was so ready. Like what are we getting into? And like I don't know, there's something really cool about having it tie in with our like heritage, like and the legends from that, and bringing it into an all new story. Like, oh yeah, now you have a curse and it's based off of like history and stuff like that's been written. It's just really cool to see it both tie in together for a story. And I'm already ready for volume 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I want to know what happens. Like I'm very much consumed by the story.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Like writing it, like I'll just say writing it. You gotta feel that when you're writing it. You got every page turn. You gotta like surprise yourself while you're writing it. You gotta like you're thinking while you're writing, this is where it's going. But then when that page turn happens, you gotta be like, no, actually,
yeah, no, for real.
Yeah, like actually, I have to do this. This will be way better.
Like. Yeah,
and you want to keep twisting your audience and like. I've loved the feedback. I'm glad because like that's what I was trying to do, and I'm glad that it worked and it succeeded. It makes me happy. I'm really proud of the comic. And oh yeah, it was fun writing it. So
this next one you can't fuck up, right? It's gonna be amazing. It has to be better, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
No pressure. It just has to be better.
It is. It's gonna be better. It's even better than the first one. Trust me.
Oh, there you go. Even better. Like I'm gonna forget about the first one because I'm gonna be so obsessed with the second one, right?
Yeah,
that's how good it's gonna be.
It continues the story.
I was gonna say, I would hope you remember the previous part.
It's a whole new plot.
I'm just saying. I mean, I like Back to the Future, but Back to the Future 2 is my favorite Back to the Future. I'm just gonna say, you know, even though they all need to be together to enjoy the whole film, but Back to the
you're not wrong. I can't wait for part 3, which is gonna be Return of the Return of Camazotz.
Is that what it's gonna be? I think we need a better one.
I thought about calling them part 1 or part 2, part 3, because I feel like that's like very horror-esque, right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
But we're doing
what's
an issue 1.
What's the second book called? Yeah. What's the second one called? Just issue 2?
Yeah, it's just issue 2.
Like, okay, you're gonna be like, ooh,
straight to the point. Yep.
Yeah. It's called Second Blood, Part 1.
Second Blood. Isn't that Rambo kind of?
I think the Return of Camazots is already a sentence. It's like I can't add more sentences.
You can return the Return of Camazotz to the bloodline of the third and the second twin.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah.
I'm down. Fuck it. I'm in. I'm all the way in.
Yeah.
No, but again, the Kickstarter, it's live right now. Primos, this is going live all the way through October 31st. There are tons of covers you can get to. We'll show off the covers on our socials here as well. But there's some great perks. Grimcore. I mean, talk a little about Grimcore. I know Daniel Grimm is kind of really kind of pushed you in front of his label and what he's doing. Talk about Grimm and what he's up to. Can you share a little bit of what you guys are planning, or what can you share about Grimcore a little bit?
I can't share much, honestly, but I can just say that working with Grimcore has been great. Daniel Grimm, the publisher, editor over there, has been super fantastic, working with me, helping me, create this universe, and doing the Kickstarter campaign. He runs it all, so I'm kind of just the the writer, but no, he's
the eye candy.
It's great, man. Honestly, it's better than not. I'm doing it all on my own, because eventually I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn how to do it eventually on my own, but. He's been great. He's basically got me started in this industry, and he's doing a lot of great stuff. I mean, he's got a lot of new talent that are going to come and make some books, and they just released Screams from the Past, which is a anthology of like old 1950s and 40s comics, and but really cool. Return to Camazots is their main title right now, and I'm just super proud and happy to be a part of the team.
Honestly, it's always good to work with a team like that. It's good to have support. Like, when you're a creator and you're making your own thing, it's always amazing. But when you can have people that not only have your back, but can also give you kind of a ladder so you can keep moving forward, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Community. And Grimm's cool. He's good people.
Yeah, definitely.
An odd fellow, that Grimm. mystery wrapped in an enigma. But definitely a big supporter of your stuff, man. Like he just said nothing but good things. Like, hey, you gotta check out Camazotz comics, check out his book when we first started talking. So yeah, man, definitely good stuff out of Grimcore Studios. But Primos, I want to go ahead and just remember, go check out the Kickstarter, Return to Camazotz, issue 2. It'll be on our socials, and of course follow at Camazotz Comics. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back, Primos. Thanks so much for hanging with us. And we are back here with Rafael Flores, Elia Maria Madrid, and of course, Kevin Garcia. Kevin, what?
Oh, sorry. I got to put my feet down.
I know you're at home, right? Most of us work from home still, but you couldn't even put shoes on. I know you maybe have pants on, but
For
shoes,
free, Kevin?
you can do it
For free?
Oh man, I don't know. Aliens just look like. Remember that? Look at that. I went easy. Yeah, it got me. It got me. I don't know. It got me. Look, I'm like red.
It looks
yeah,
realistic.
Yeah, it looks really realistic. Oh, guys, we're gonna talk about some of the things we've been watching or consuming recently. And one of the big ones that I got to experience recently was I watched Joker, the second Joker movie. I don't even know how to pronounce the full title.
The two.
Joker the opera.
Yeah.
Folie à deux. Folie à deux.
Follies?
Folie à deux. Folie à deux.
The second Folly? Right. Yeah. Okay. I don't speak French. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Folie à deux.
We have a large French-speaking audience. They're going to get after me for.
Of course. All the Primos and friends. Assistance, s'il vous plaît. Okay.
Dang it.
Please help. But I'm going to try to speak on the film a little bit because the internet's been a buzz about it. By the time this is out, the movie.
Is it an actual musical or is it one of those things where they just have a hallucination and they start singing?
The fact that he can't answer yes or no.
I can't answer it honestly. Like,
okay, fair enough.
Okay. Where to begin?
Okay.
I want to try not to spoil things. Okay.
I
want to give you at least an impression of what I saw and what I felt. From there, take it for what it's worth, right? So, the singing. I can appreciate when you want to mix music or some sort of performance or theater to a film, right? You can kind of, like La La Land example. I know it's a bigger hit. It's more commercial, right? But the set design was great. They kind of pushed things out there out of nowhere. You kind of seamlessly saw these things occur and you kind of ran with the film and the performance, the dancing, what have you, right? This kind of, I'm not against Joaquin Phoenix in a moment of sorrow or joy breaking into a song. Then it feels like, wow, like the depth of a character going through a change or through a loss or something and expressing himself through song or even through dance, you kind of go, oh, okay. But when I tell you that they literally, I feel like they shove musical numbers down your throat that go way too long, then it does feel as if they're trying to do a musical where, okay, let's sit down and we're going to watch a 2 maybe to 4 minute performance of song and dance. But when you watch a song and dance performance, it's supposed to be enjoyable. You're supposed to like, oh, like this is, wow, it brings an emotion out of you, be it a dark or a lively or jovial emotion. this was like unnecessarily done. Like this doesn't move the story forward. You're just showing me that Lady Gaga can sing. Great.
Wait, she can sing?
Oh my god.
Has she ever recorded any songs?
Oh
A couple things, something about poking her face. I don't know, something
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right. Let me ask you. Like, have you seen other musicals? Like, I think Dreamgirls is always one of my favorite musicals. It's really well done. Chicago is one where it's very surreal, and then of course the best musical of all time, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, Little Shop of Horrors.
Not a fan of Grease.
Grease.
Myself. Never been a fan of Grease.
No,
I love Grease. My mama made me watch Grease.
Oh,
mine did too. But,
how do I kick Kevin out of the room again? Hold on, sorry.
no, I'll go with
Little Shop
Kevin.
of Horrors. But look, like you said, right? Okay, Elia, maybe Kevin to an extent, Rafael, I don't know. You all have more of a pulse on the theater performance side of things, maybe than I would. What would you consider most musicals? Even Sweeney Todd was a musical, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
It's actually one of my favorite musicals.
Yeah,
but
really enjoyed that one.
It's enjoy. There's a point where you can even go like, wow, this is a. You can kind of get into the vibe of the song or the performance. This wasn't that. This was them performing standards. Sinatra standard.
I was gonna say they're not even original songs, right?
They're all covers. Everything from Sonny and Cher to Frank Sinatra, and it was very disappointing. People were walking out of the free screening like, all right, they left and never came back. I thought they were gonna go get a drink. No, they were like 40 minutes in, got up and just left. Like they did not come back. My wife and I enjoyed the first film, and the film teases you as a fan of writing. They hint at certain characters doing certain things, certain nods, things. You're like, okay, there's a twist coming, right? Why are you showing me this character? It's like Chekhov's gun. Why are you showing me this? Why are you focusing on this and not delivering?
I hate when I see a movie and I can tell like the camera zooms on the item and it never comes up.
I know.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot in this film with people, places, and things, and even Gaga's performance. And not to knock anybody again, it was like it was a vehicle for her.
She can be a good actor. She can be a good actor.
It was a vehicle for her to sing. Like you were. It's like that joke I made last year with Captain Marvel. I'm like, oh, let's remind everybody that she can sing, because that's literally what it was. It was a lot of singing.
That movie needed a second number. It really did. No, because one made it feel out of place. If it had two, it would have been like, oh, it's a reprise. We get it, like it makes sense. Okay, I have a question about the content of Joker. So
sure, one sec. Touching on that, Captain Marvel, it was almost a fun. Okay, it's goofy, it's campy, right? They're singing and dancing. Okay,
they acknowledged it.
This is not. This is very much like hard cuts, no seamless transitions. And then when you see it happen, you're kind of jarred. Like, oh, okay, we're in a number now. And then you kind of said like that was unnecessary. Like they did nothing for the story. I feel. So I even tried to dig. I'm okay. Hold on, let's give it a shot. Maybe I'm being too commercial. Let me go to my art school days. And I'm like, okay, what would this represent? Well, what does this mean for the character? Right? There were only blips of the Joaquin Phoenix's character, the Joker, or Arthur, and kind of that tug of war between what they, in this version of it, that they believe there's a psychosis, that there's a split personality. Okay, that's what they believe. And so that on top of the story from the first film, they kind of just leave that to the side. And you feel
that's what I want to ask you about.
Go ahead. What's the question though?
Yeah. So like part of why, like I enjoyed the first film on its own merits. It's not great as a quasi remake of the better Scorsese films, nor is it super great as a movie that would, in theory, exist in a superhero universe. But like on its own, it was okay. But the bigger issue for me is the messaging. The first movie was basically like, hey, you're an incel that feels the world hates you. You are right to do that, and you can get revenge. And I even said the only way this is going to work is if he gets a severe comeuppance at the end, or learns a lesson. Instead, the lesson he learns is, I was right and people loved me for it. And that by itself made me upset that the movie was made at all. And then when I found out the sequel was going to have Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn, my issue with that is the story of Joker and Harley Quinn was always intended to be an example of a bad relationship. Whenever I see people being like, oh, I'm his Harley and he's my Joker. No, if you want a gothic, horrible like relationship, Gomez and Morticia, they're amazing.
Amen.
You know? They
Amen.
murder each other and other people, and they smile and love each other while doing it.
Mhm.
But Harley and Joker are meant to be. This is an example of what not to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody who has that wrong message is going to go to this movie, and it's going to be reinforced. Am I correct in
No.
that feeling? Okay.
No, you are actually. I feel like they were on an apology tour.
Okay.
They were like as if going, hey, maybe Arthur is sick. Maybe he
Okay.
is ill.
But does he
Maybe-
really love Lady Gaga? That's the problem. Well, sorry,
And the
Harley.
thing is, they what they do with the Harley Quinn storyline is they kind of twist it to where, and me and my wife talked about it. Where like, look, the characters are toxic with each other at a
Yeah,
certain
that's
point.
the point.
Even
They need
Harley,
to- you can
even-
change,
yeah,
you can change how they're toxic, but as long as
Yeah,
they're still
but-
toxic.
it's a weird square peg in a circle. Like it's like they're just trying to make this happen, and they do force it together. Like they clobber it in together to those pieces, and then it just falls apart. And there's no real substance there at the end of it. There's no connection. There's no reason for you to want them to even be together. There's
separate.
or separate. You're kind of like, okay, like what? They took his teeth away. Is what I'm gonna say, because I'll go on the opposite end of it. I like the fact that the Joker ended up with that aggressive. You know what? Eat the rich, right? Like the
Yeah,
poor.
no, I don't
like,
disagree with that.
I know, yeah, right, we're there, right? Like, and he had teeth. Like he did something at the end of it, and not to say he's the hero, but he walked away with, you know what? This is where I'm at in the world. I'm gonna take it for what it's worth, and I'm gonna run with it my way, right? Hence the song at the end, "My Way." But now it's more so like I said, apology to her, because it's more so like, oh, maybe he is sick, maybe he's not the guy you want him to be, and hey, people out there yelling his name in the street. Maybe I'm faking it. Maybe I'm not really. I don't want to be this guy. Like he's literally just pushing back on everything he was doing in the first film, and relying a lot on Gaga or Harley Quinn in this case to be like dragging him along like a puppy dog almost. Like he is like obsessed with her, and she's
Yeah.
taking advantage of that because she wants the Joker romance to happen, and the singing didn't help, and I just didn't like the vibe. And at the end of it, me and my wife were like, if they would have had a great musical number inside the jail cell during a riot somehow, that's kind of like an interesting way to kind of play with the musical,
Yeah.
right? Like, hey, it's a musical, we're singing, like
That's what I wanted from Marvels. I wanted Marvels to have a musical number in the fight with the bad guy. I really wanted that second musical number.
You didn't get that here. So I don't do this often, and I really don't. I really leave it up to you all, please. But I would tell you this much: if I have to do it on my scale, and I don't go out of 10, I go out of 5, but I have to literally go into a 1 or a 2. This is very low on a scale.
That rarely happens.
It really happens. I'm
Okay.
pretty lenient on my scale, to be fair.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know, Rafael. How would you have done a Joker sequel?
I would have made the movie because that's a terrible movie. I hated it. I'm a huge Batman fan. Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah.
read the comic books. I
Wait,
love the
you
source
like
material.
bats?
Yes, I love that. I love goth culture and everything. But yeah, huge Batman fan. Always read the comics. And I love Batman animated series. Okay, that's where Harley Quinn was created. Okay,
Yeah.
and their story in that animated show, and even in the comics afterwards, you can read those too. Their relationship and even the characters themselves have nothing to do with the movie, the Joker, or I feel like this movie too, because this is what happens when you let people make these movies with these characters, but they have no respect for the actual comics that these came from. They also have no point of reference for what these comics are. Like the point of reference is all Heath Ledger, and their other point of reference is Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Which-
They have no reference
both
of
great.
what these actual characters are like, and so they make them, and they're like, "Well, I want to do it my way," And I'm pretty sure that's how they all feel. I want to do my take on it, and it's like, do the characters justice. Make these characters are, dude. You've invested billions of dollars in these characters already. Okay,
Yeah.
like do it right. Let people who actually care about the comics make these movies, and you'll make good movies. Like you could have made a good Joker Harley Quinn movie. Would have been like a Bonnie and Clyde fun romp or something, but they didn't do it that way because they don't care about the source material.
When
I
you
really
say
think
that-
that when I watched it, like you said, it's like I say they took a big swing at like, you know what, Joaquin, you're a pretty good actor. let's just put you to music and let's use the Joker vehicle.
Like,
Like that's what it felt like.
Go ahead and sing.
Dang.
That's what it felt like.
When you say that, Rafael, about like they don't respect source material, it makes me think about, you know, the Fan Four Stick movie that bombed and everybody really hit. I actually saw that in theaters. It was bad. Dollar theater, but still. When they were making that movie, flat out they asked the actors, so have you read the comics? And they were like, oh, the director told us not to read them. Like the director actively told them, don't look at the source material. And I'm like, that says a lot. Like you don't have to do a one-to-one recreation, but that says a lot. And I agree with exactly what you're saying. It sounds like, especially after seeing the first movie, that there was no thought other than the window dressing of Joker is this.
I'll say my favorite Batman movie is Batman and Batman Returns. And I think Tim Burton actually did talk about how he read the comics, and he didn't read all of them, sure, but he read The Dark Knight. He read the classics, and I don't know. I feel like these people today they don't give a shit about comics.
No.
But Elia, let me ask you, because that's why you said you're my go-to for this stuff. What would you consider an appropriate musical, a contemporary musical?
Here's the tea though. I don't like musicals a lot. I'm very much I know I'm a failure of a theater person. I already know that. But like my favorite type of musicals are classic ones. Like I love Hello Dolly. I will eat up The Sound of Music. But like in terms of like modern ones, it's been hard for me to find one that I actually enjoy. Like the most modern musical that I actually find entertaining is between Pippin and Sweeney Todd. Like it's those two, and those aren't like those weren't written before or after 2000. Like so
Sweeney Todd goes back a bit.
Yeah. So like I mean like Wicked's coming up, and yeah, I'm hyped to see.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I am
good.
optimistic. But that might be one of the first modern musicals that I'm gonna be like, yay! Because I watched West Side Story. I was disappointed.
Yeah, I tried to watch that recently, and it was
it was rough.
Yeah.
I liked Les Mis for some characters. There were some characters that I'm like, stop.
I've only seen half of Les Mis, but hey, that's my thing.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about your history.
No, not here.
It's Freddie's.
Check out last episode.
Yeah. And then like Into the Woods, Disney messed up that musical. It should be a lot more horrific.
Is Footloose a musical?
No, but it's got music in it.
Is it not a musical?
Do they
know.
sing? Like when they do dance numbers,
They
it's in the dance.
I've never seen it.
It's diegetic music, so
yeah. But I mean, like, but that's what made me so excited for Joker, is because I'm like, okay, it's a contemporary take. Also, I'm a diehard Gaga stan, so I'm like, oh yes, let's heckin' go.
Same, not gonna lie.
And I enjoyed Joaquin's performance in the first one. I didn't really like the story, but I loved his performance. I'm like, you did what you needed to. Yeah, I'm like, you did what you needed to with the writing you got, slay. So I'm like, put them together. I'm ready for the second one, especially because Gaga's singing. It looks very like hard hitting. And so like I haven't seen it, but as soon as you told me, Freddie, like you're like, I have thoughts. I saw everything online. I haven't gotten it spoiled, funnily enough, but I saw everybody's reactions online, and it was trash. And I'm like, no, what happened? So
they have to do something fun. I say, and it's funny. I'm not spoiling anything, but
yeah,
the things that I've discussed and just the audience. I went to the restroom during the song or during one of the songs, and someone in the restroom was like, "Damn, this movie's long." Like they were complaining that this movie's long because the numbers made it so long. But the little moment you get of Joaquin Phoenix, you still get that shine. Like, okay, fuck, this guy can act. Like he is holding this thing together. But everything else just we introduced Harvey Dent, but why?
I was excited for it if they were going to lean into the weird, but it sounds like they didn't.
Yeah, I know. And I thought it was going to have like a more noir kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Hey,
I'm going to watch it for myself, though.
Maybe the issue is that the first movie they purposely tried to imitate some Scorsese movies. Maybe they should have had some specific. This is what we're going for. Like imitate a different genre of movie. You know.
I mean, we watched everybody.
It was doomed to fail, I believe.
Yeah, it really
You
was.
think? I was happy
I
if
think
there
it
was
deserves to
never a
fail.
sequel.
It deserves.
Yeah, it should not have been a sequel. I was happy with how it ended. It should have been a
Yeah.
one and done, and let
Yeah.
it be. And I was happy with that one film. You can leave the audience wanting more and be okay with it. You don't have to accommodate just because it made money, right? But that's the industry. And even in the art side of it, as somebody that's been to film school, that's watched Fellini films, have watched obscure stuff, right? And kind of go like, this is not enjoyable. Like there has to be a point where you go, okay, I'm in for the weird. I'm here for the gore, or I'm here for the story, right? But if you can't find the right line to put them together, there's no point in this film being made. I think that it should have been like my wife and me talked about on the drive home. We were just in like disbelief. We're like, they could have done so much. They had everything they needed, but it just did not pan out. Like it just didn't. It was not a good movie to watch. So, my 2 cents for what it's worth, Primos. But check it out yourselves.
They should have hired Paul Dini to write the movie.
Yeah, but then it would have just been like Batgirl over and over again, just changing clothes every few seconds. I mean, we don't.
That might have been better.
I mean, it's better, you know?
I mean,
Hey, I mean, we all have, somebody I know loves bats a lot. Do that way. But Kevin, you and I know maybe Elia hasn't or Rafael hasn't. Agatha, you watched Agatha recently, and I know that me and wife are waiting for it to stack up too. We want to kind of watch them.
Yeah.
Good to go.
I can't do the binging. I just can't.
I'm such a binger.
Okay, so wait,
WandaVision
let
and
me
all that,
understand.
you know?
Elia, just because Freddie hasn't seen it yet, Rafael hasn't seen it yet. Elia, have you seen it?
No.
So it's me. All right.
I've watched
so here's what happened.
for it, but
No, look, honestly, I've seen some press saying that they don't like it, but I'm really enjoying it. It's a good sequel to WandaVision, while not at all doing what WandaVision did, because you can't do that twice, really. It's really good. The chemistry is amazing. It's probably the gayest thing Disney has done on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like seriously, like it's amazing how far they go compared.
Is there singing and dancing?
Yes, there is. It is also partially a musical. It's quite good. Yeah, and on all the songs, when they do come up, it's few and far between. When they do, it makes perfect sense, and you cannot look away. Like watching with my partner, with my friends, the entire song, we're riveted for the whole song, beginning to end.
Wow, way total opposite from Joker.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
As you were saying, how they cut away and they make you feel out of it. I'm like, no, this makes you feel more into the scene. And I'm like, that's what songs should do in a musical. And I would not describe the series as a musical, but it definitely has elements of a musical.
Okay. Melodic.
I mean, like they break out in song.
I love that.
You pulled me in. I mean,
in it.
Yeah,
Aubrey Plaza is in it.
She is amazing in it. All the casting is good. They've got a Broadway actor in there. They've got Aubrey Plaza. Yep, of course. And of course they're bringing back Mrs. Foreman from that '70s show.
She's in it, Kitty.
Yep, she's amazing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
She's perfect in this show. It's really good, and of course, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about who characters could be or whatnot. And I feel like if you guys wait and binge it, you're going to hear those spoilers before you get to go watch it. Because
to be fair, the AI or the guy clicking my boxes on whoever runs my phone, like I don't get a lot of the spoilers. I'm gonna be real with you, like
the algorithm that's talking about.
Yeah, but that's been debunked apparently too. That it's cheaper to pay a guy to push buttons or check boxes for you than to have ChatGPT do it. Apparently, so even though they say, "Oh, we have AI," no, it's some dude in a computer going like this. Okay, Elia likes Sailor Moon.
On that note, let me switch gears entirely. Ask you about AI. I saw Wild Robot recently. Anybody seen Wild Robot?
Not yet. I plan to.
Wild Robot was awesome.
It was so good. People were crying. People were laughing. It was so good. I only have 2 complaints. One kind of about the ending, but I still love it. But the other one is the commercials. When I saw the very first trailer for Wild Robot, literally my thought was, "Oh, this looks good." oh, this looks great. Wait, this looks like it happens later in the movie. Why are they showing it? This is clearly the end of the movie. Why are they showing it? That's obviously the last scene of the movie. Why are they showing it? And yeah, sure enough, all of that was in the first trailer. And so, yes, watch Wild Robot. Do not watch the trailers first.
Damn. Okay.
That is really bad advertising. Do not like, there is enough material. They could have just used the first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie and had like 5 trailers, and they would have not repeated a scene. It would have been beautiful. There was no reason to use the later scene.
It's a great film, and at a bird's eye view of it, I would say, no pun intended. Yeah, I caught myself there. This is a film about, I don't know, and it's not fair to say because I looked at it as a parent.
Yeah,
this is a film about family, a film about learning to letting things grow, and like family and growth and change. In a world that seems, so scary or different, there are certain things that still lay a foundation, like love and care, and at the same time growth and change. Those things are scary, and a robot playing that role, which is universally just a robot with no feelings. No, they just are there to take orders, if you will. They take a really good swing with what they did, and they knock it out of the park. They did a great job with this film. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's a lot of heart, and it really kept you like engaged.
Very much. Let me ask you a question as a parent, though. So, like, a friend of mine said that they thought it was parent propaganda, like trying to convince you to have kids. And I was like, but how did she feel about being a parent? And they're like, it was painful. I'm like, is that really propaganda? Like, is that really, They
even make a joke, and it's not like really a spoiler. They even make a joke. They're like, yeah, being a parent, it's fucking hard. It's horrible. Yeah. They take up your time, your energy.
They say that in the kids movie. So.
Yeah, they're like they take your food, they take your time, they take your money. You can't wait till they leave. If one dies, fine, let them die. I'm done. Like they literally like, okay, because they're animals. They're like, they're,
I know, just like that.
Like, I want to say one thing about the movie that is not a spoiler. But I want to address it because I laughed at this, and apparently I'm the only one in my group that laughed at it because they didn't know what it was. So I want to tell you what it is, so that when you watch the movie, you're like, I know what that is. The first off, obviously the robot is visually made to look like Studio Ghibli's Castle in the Sky, right? But the thing is that the robot is from a company called Rossum's Universal Dynamics, and I laughed when I heard that because do you know where the word robot comes from? It's from a play called Rossum's Universal Robots. That's where the word robot comes from. So she's literally from the first robot story. I mean, the robots in that play are more like the robots in Blade Runner, in that they're grown, they're biological robots, whatever. But that's where we get the word robot from, is from that Czech play. And so I love that little tip of the hat to history by instead of calling literally a 1920s cut, instead of calling it, Rossum's Universal Robots, they call it Rossum's Universal Dynamics because that feels more like a modern company. Yeah. But like that's still what it is. And I was like, that's a nice reference that I'm surprised more movies don't make. And literally, I was with a bunch of geeks seeing it, and none of them got the reference. And I was like, you call yourselves geeks.
I mean, the cast is dope, man. It's Pedro Pascal, Lupita Nyong'o, Mark Hamill's in it, Bing Rames is in it.
Primos,
there you go.
Yeah.
Primos. They're in there.
Our Mexican sister, Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah.
Claim her. Yes. Claim her.
Yeah, we
Definitely.
claim her.
You need to. We need to. But yeah, Wild Robot is fun. I definitely recommend it. And Kevin and me kind of, hey, yeah, it's worth it. It's dope. Definitely. It's fun. It's a great animated film.
DreamWorks. Gun to your head if they made you choose Joker 2 or Wild Robot, Freddy.
Megalopolis, but it's a different conversation. No, Wild Robot, hands down. Wild Robot, 100%. Definitely worth watching. But Elia, I know you mentioned earlier you watched, and it's kind of offline. You watched something that I swear to you, I thought this was canceled. Like I thought this was gone and canceled. The TV show, the Primos show.
Yeah, Primos. So I was like, I'd seen it on my Disney Plus for a while, and I'd seen a featurette of like the creator and kind of behind the scenes. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. I'll watch a couple episodes. And so I did. And like, I don't want to judge it yet. I don't want to give it like my full, I don't like it. I'll get like whatever. but it's definitely, so here's where I'm going to be defensive about why I don't like it. There's definitely like some stereotypical things that happen in the show, but I don't, it's Disney. I want to believe that Disney had a lot to do with how this depiction of a Latina family was going to have to be portrayed to be on their network. It was just very like poke fun at the quick things that you can teach a gringuito about in a show. You know, like what translate to a gringuito that would culturally or show the culture the easiest. And so there's just like little bits like that. There's like the nicknames for all the kids are just kind of derogatory. And I know that's like our culture. I get it, whatever.
Yeah.
We all have nicknames making fun of us. I get it. But like, why does it have to like transcend into the show? It was just very like, it didn't seem like, I just don't know. It's not my favorite right now, but I'm not gonna quit on it because
Does it feel like it wasn't made for us?
That's what I was going to ask. Because here's the thing.
Exactly. That's definitely the feel. It felt like it wasn't made for us. It felt like it was made as a form of entertainment to kind of satisfy the Latina representation lack thereof.
Ooh, the white gaze. That like,
because the intention from the creators was a show for Latino people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if my understanding is, the creator has a background kind of like myself, with like this mixed, white and Latino background.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like I think stereotypes in that sense can be good, done well from within the community. You know, like I think, remember the little homies, those little homie toys that went around?
I love the homies.
Nothing but stereotypes, but we all loved them, right? Because we knew, like, I know that guy, he lives down the street. It was funny, but it was felt real. But when it's artificial and forced, that's when it feels like, are they laughing with us or at us?
Yeah.
And
I don't know. Yeah. And I think, and I will always say this when I'm consuming like any form of like Latina media that is depicted in the States, like I didn't have the upbringing that like all the other Latina people had. I grew up super gentrified. I grew up super like, I didn't get to indulge in la cultura until like I was in college, like food excluded. My mom always cooked Mexican food, but that's it. Like, so anytime I see like depictions where it's like, oh, they live in the hood, they live, or like, they like, oh, what was it? I think they literally
50 people live in one house, right?
Yeah,
that's the point of the show, right?
And the sepia tone is all, so in every single episode so far, it's all yellow toned. I'm like, you guys, I thought we were past this. Like, like
isn't Lalo Alcaraz called on speed dial for Disney? Like,
I
it really should be.
But
like Disney, you fucked up again. Like, what's going on?
But I heard
like did you try to trademark Primos?
Like gave it praises, so I'm hoping it gets better because like, I don't know. I want to be hopeful because Disney as a platform, as much as they're like, we include everybody, they don't. They don't. And so I like to get excited when I see titles like this finally hit the homepage and I'm like, oh, let's watch it. And then I watch it and it's like,
Primo was good and goofy and fun. Victor and Valentino, did you guys watch that? Like,
I didn't, but I heard good things about it.
That was really good, but I think that's Nickelodeon. If I'm off, please correct me, Primo.
I think.
But it's like that show was goofy and fun, and it poked fun at like a lot of the beliefs of like Mictlan and like the underworld and all these things, right? But it wasn't. It was like the homie effect, like you said, like, oh, it's funny and goofy because we can laugh at it. And it's almost treated with enough care that you can go, oh, this is cute and fun. When we watch The Book of Life, there are a lot of tropes and a lot of like stereotypes in there into a sense that we can laugh at, right? And we can enjoy it, but it's treated with respect and who's caring for it. But this one sounds a little.
Can I tell you about where they use the stereotype well? There's this webtoon called Myth Up, like myths and legends, right? And there's this, they go to Mexico and it's all sepia tone and they're having like cops investigating the cartel. And then finally one of the cops looks to the other guy and goes, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, I bought these sunglasses because I thought it'd make everything look kind of cool. And I was like, hell yeah.
That's funny.
Like
That's
when
funny.
I saw this episode, I was like, oh, you know what? I was giving this comic a chance, and I don't know. And then as soon as the sunglasses, I'm like, oh,
It's like, no,
you
that
had
was
me.
Self-aware.
You
Let me
had
take the
me.
Mexican filter off.
Self-aware. I don't know. I mean, Primo, the Primo
Yes.
show could be something that surprises us. But for now, yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm watching it cautiously, but I want to give it a chance, especially because like the art is so cute. Like it is, and I don't know. I want like, especially because it's animation. I love pushing animation, and yeah,
It's getting harder to find good animation. You know.
Yeah,
Mm.
you gotta
Crazy,
support it
Rafael.
because if you don't, then they won't make any more, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
so hard to be like, no, like we'll get through it.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, Rafael, because that reminds me of Elektra, the movie. Literally, when Elektra and Catwoman flopped, Ike Perlmutter and all these other producers were like, well, that's why we can't have female superheroes because it's never going to sell. And it's like,
Mhm.
those two movies sucked, especially
Right.
Catwoman. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, why? You're like, well, we could never have a female hero again because of that. And it wasn't until they kicked Ike Perlmutter out of Marvel that they were able to make Captain Marvel and also Black Panther. And the thing is that, like, I hate that what you said is correct. That they're going to look at Primos not doing well or not getting good reviews and being, oh, that's why we can't show the culture. Like,
They think
Gonzalez,
nobody understands it. They think nobody gets it. But it's like it's 'cause
Exactly.
the people making it didn't really
exactly.
do it
But-
in an authentic way.
In the
Or something.
90s, Nickelodeon pulled Speedy Gonzalez because they were afraid of offending Latinos. And literally, Lulak and others were like, bring our hero back. We love
Yeah.
Speedy. And it's like they didn't get it. Now they're going to see this and be like, oh, see, they're offended by this. Let's not show them anymore.
No,
And
but
it's like,
there's still a place though, like you said, Rafael. There's still a place for it to where we can go look. Just because it's a Latino-ish story, I don't have to just immediately like it.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I have to go support it because it's a Latino. Look, like the industry, it is what it is. It's a beast that feeds on your money, right? And so, yeah, if it doesn't make money, then they assume, oh, well, we can't have a Latino cartoon. Like, no, there exist cartoons that have Latino characters. Look at Los Casagrandes. That show hit.
Mhm.
Like, and it's they make
Dora,
they have
Dora's
fun.
Dora.
Dora hit. Let's make it that way. Like, Dora hit.
yo.
You know,
The goat, yeah.
Dora, all that thing. People enjoyed it. It was what it was. It knew its audience and it catered to it and it cared for it.
but it was such
they're
a
like-
hit that there were white people using Dora as an insult.
Right.
So
It
there,
becomes the
there's
costume. It
a
becomes the Halloween
double-edged
costume
sword.
for-
Double-edged
for-
sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Double-edged
But
sword.
they're like,
Heck,
Dora
Kevin.
over here because she had an accent. I'm like,
So she was so
We're
popular.
always
like,
going to be a
Dora.
joke to the wrong people.
that's
So
true.
just
You
punch
can't,
them in the face.
yeah, you're right.
You
You're
just
right about
punch
that.
them in the face. Use violence. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
That's
Violence,
a joke. For
violence.
legal reasons, that is a joke.
Well, somebody can use violence, just not
For
legally us.
legal reasons, that is a joke.
It's a joke, guys. Joke, guys. Primos. Remember, disclaimer. It's a joke. It's a joke. But Rafael, you know, right here on the time at the end of the show, we usually try to bring things up to we can either recommend things we've been watching. I know it's a spooky season here. We're in Halloweenish times, and you know, the fall has some great stuff that we just kind of grew up or just love watching or reading or consuming. What's something that comes to mind that you can recommend to the Primos? Man, I know you love horror. You know, we've talked, you know, on our own about some fun films you've recommended to me as well to watch and check out. What's something that maybe some might not know or happen to know that you could recommend for this time of the year?
I went to go see Blue Beetle recently. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, we saw it too.
Not Blue Beetle. I meant Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Sorry,
Beetlejuice.
I confused.
I haven't seen the sequel yet.
Both of those. I haven't seen Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is great. I love Michael Keaton. Big fan of his work. The movie was great. It had like a Bee Gees song. Fucking been jamming to that. Like you know, since then, it was like it really is Tim Burton like going back to his roots of like just having fun, I guess, on these sets or doing like just gothic core type stuff. It's great. I really like it. Yeah, and and that the girl, his new girlfriend, Monica Bellucci or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Great. She's sexy as hell. I love that movie. So,
Is
man,
Tim
that
Burton still
woman.
doing that? Is he putting whoever's girlment is in every movie? Is that what he's
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
yes, that's
And
What
Tim
is
her
it?
Burton.
Tim Burton
part-
movie?
Her part is iconic in Beetlejuice in the second one. Like it cracked me up. Like
Mhm.
so
So
no-
Jenna Ortega, I love Jenna Ortega right now. I mean, like she's
Mhm.
killing it.
Obviously.
Talk about Latino representation. I mean, she's like #1 actress right now in Hollywood right now.
yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah, and she's bringing authentic gothic type of representation of Latinos, because a lot of us are gothic and like are that type, and I love it. So anything she does, I'm a big fan of. So it was a great movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Beetlejuice. Nice. Well, if we're winding down here and things I've already talked about, don't go watch Joker. Don't. Definitely,
I mean, you
in my opinion.
Go see Beetlejuice for the second time.
We're not going to tell you what to do. Yeah, go see Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
no,
just
see
walk into
Beetlejuice, and then see it a third time as Beetlejuice. Oh,
That's next year.
See there? That's next year. No, but yeah, in all seriousness, like I think that one of the things I always want to right around the fall, we always bring it up, me and my kiddo, and it is an animated miniseries. Most of you might know it. Elia seems to know it.
Yeah.
And it is Over the Garden Wall.
I have yet to see
Over the
it,
Garden Wall.
and I've heard it's back on streaming.
It's so good.
It's back.
It
coming
is back.
Wait, it's coming back.
I've
Where?
heard it's on streaming. I don't know where, but I remember hearing that it's back on streaming.
Yeah.
No, because I've literally been hunting down
I
a
need
DVD
to
of
watch
it.
it. I need to watch it. I have not seen it yet. Let me look it up, because I've heard
It's like it's
back
not a
on
new
streaming.
season or anything. It's just the
No,
same.
No.
It's
It's the same one.
Oh no, yeah.
It's like a fall classic that always was. Talk about
I remember
the music.
watching it on Cartoon Network. Like
Yeah.
with air date. It did feel like a fall.
Elijah
classic.
Woods
It
in
was
it,
like a movie.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's just so
Like
It's on
good.
Hulu.
make yourself a
It's on Hulu.
Happy Halloween. Happy
Happy
There you
Halloween.
go.
It's also rentable for $1.99 on Amazon.
Okay, y'all, when I tell you, like, make yourself a hot pot of soup, make yourself a hot chocolate, get
Wear it on
cozy
your
and watch
head.
Over the Garden Wall. Yeah, put a teapot on your head.
On your head. Yep.
And
And
watch
I've
Over
seen
the
so much
Garden Wall.
cosplay. I need
Get
to
a
watch
giant
it.
frog to walk around with you.
Yeah, no,
I
it
already
is a
do that
really
every
good
day.
go-to. Yeah.
Now, Over the Garden Wall is such a whimsical, heartfelt, like coming of age story in like Halloween. I don't even know. It's like everything that makes you feel like nostalgia, yet concern and unease at times too.
Mhm.
Like it's so well done. The animation and the acting is great. Christopher Lloyd is in it. Elijah
I think I've only seen
Wood.
the first chapter now that I think about it. I need to watch
I
all of
mean,
it.
it has John Cleese, Shirley Jones. I'm telling you, like this is like huge
Love it.
names that are just and Over the Garden Wall would be something that I recommend that if you've
Mhm.
never seen or it's been a while, just go look for it. I'm trying to buy it. I need to just own it because if it does disappear, then it's gone. Kind of like
And
my video
history
games
is
that I've learned recently that now that all the games that I thought I bought digitally, I don't
Oof.
own because they're saying it's a license to
yeah.
use my game. So if the license goes away, use whatever, it's gone. It's gone.
Bring
So
back pirating. I'm just kidding.
It never went away.
That's something to keep in mind for your music. Something to keep in mind
Yeah.
for your
I have a dealer.
movies. There you go. Oh, you have a plug.
Get your dealers in line.
You
Look,
got a plug for
I'm
that. huh?
gonna say right now that I've always was upset that when Nintendo made the 3DS, that they never put into there the 3D Virtual Boy games, which was their one flop system.
Yeah.
And somebody, not going to name names, installed into my 3DS the ability to now play Virtual Boy games, and it is as beautiful as I imagined it to be. Why did Nintendo never do that? And if
Do you ever
not
have
for pirating-
seizures? Because apparently that caused so many
No,
seizures.
that's the thing. With the 3DS, you can adjust the lighting and you can adjust
Oh,
how
okay.
much 3D it
Yeah.
has. And I'm like, the system was made for these games. They could have brought them back.
Kevin, what
But-
about you? What have you been consuming or obsessing right now,
Okay,
or
so
recommend?
I am obsessed over one of the greatest comic books that I have read in a long time, and that is World's War Comics, which is now physically printed.
Wow.
I know. And also, I got the cards and I got stickers. I got
There
the
we
whole thing
go.
going on. I mean, like, I have all this, and I want to actually put this online eventually. First things first, I want to get to the backers. But Freddie Lopez Jr., the cover artist who did a bunch of other art, he wants me to have it with him at Casa in San Antonio, so we're gonna do that. But then I'm sending it to the backers, and after that, I'm gonna figure out a way to get it available to other people because I'm really happy with the way this came out. It was a lot of fun, and because it took me so long, I added a bunch of like supplemental material to the back of the book. So the backers, I'm like, look, it took me a while. Here's stuff,
I can't wait.
So Yeah,
I can't
that's why
wait to
I
film my unboxing.
I had to get the Silver Age size bags to fit how big this book is. So
Nice. I'm excited. I'm a backer, so I can't wait.
Me too.
And Elia, what about you? What have you consumed or recommend here for the fall season or
Ooh,
season?
so on the horror side, I'm a very big fan of REC. I don't know if any of y'all know this
No?
horror movie. So it's in Spanish.
oh yes, I do
and
know that one
yes. So
because
it's
it was
basically-
remade in English as
We don't gotta
I
talk
can't
about
remember.
it.
Let's not
No.
talk about it. You're right,
We don't have to
but I
talk
do know
about
that. I know the one.
Yeah, but it's basically like was it like Blair Witch Project style recording
Yeah,
where it's
found
like
footage.
found
Well,
footage.
not found. It's like actual like
Yeah.
CCTV.
Yeah, and so it's like
Oh.
following a periodista all like around a town in Spain. There's some kooky shit going on in an apartment building. And the story thus continues. It's super like it's a thriller / horror / body horror, maybe. I don't know if that's a spoiler for it, but no,
I mean, when it
watched
comes to
for-
horror, I mean,
yeah, I watched it for the first time with a group of friends who didn't speak Spanish, so they all needed subtitles on, but I didn't need the subtitles. I was just kind of listening, so I was just reacting quicker than them. I was just like,
REC?
yeah, record.
REC.
It's just record.
Yeah, record. Yeah, essentially.
Oh, record. Okay.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
say REC, it threw me off. But I was like, yeah, it's just
okay.
it's the
when I
abbreviated
say
of record.
rec, it sounds
Yeah,
weird.
say
I would
rec,
say
it says
REC.
something else. Exactly. So
I
REC
see it.
sounds.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
no,
remember that's like
recommend
what,
that
15
one.
years old now? How would it come out? Like early 2000s?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was
it's
a
been a bit.
big indie hit when it came out. Well, I say indie, it was indie in the United States.
Yeah.
I think it was good in Spain or wherever it came out from. But then they did make a remake of it in English, which was what it was. And then there was a sequel, I think, in Spanish.
Yes. I haven't seen the sequel yet. I plan on seeing it this year, though. I'll keep y'all updated. But I love that first one. If you need just a thriller night in the dark, light a couple candles. Nice. Yeah. Love that. And I'm also a sucker for The Shining. I'm a Shining girl.
Another movie I've yet to watch.
Oh, it's
a lot to watch. We'll have. I feel like this will be like
Halloween season.
Something we do moving forward for the rest of the season of the month, I should say. But I wanted just to thank everybody, of course. Rafael, thank you for coming on the show. Remember, guys, go check out his Kickstarter, The Return of Camazotz. And we are also, just a heads up. Thank you, Kevin. We are going to be at Mex Americon on November 2nd in Austin. So we'll be there for that show. So stay tuned for that. And we're actually going to have Javi and I believe Nino as well. They're going to be on the show next week talking about Mex Americon. So we'll get some insider information for that. But stay tuned, Primos. And I want to just, of course, thank Elia Maria, Kevin Garcia, Rafael Flores. Thank you guys for being on the show. Primos, remember, no matter where you're from, we're all Primos. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this week My Primos Podcast. My Primos Podcast is produced by Kikume. My Primos Podcast is hosted by Maria Madrid. Check her out at Bites the Illustration. And Kevin Garcia. Check him out at KevinGarcia_com. I want to thank our guest, Rafael Flores Jr. Check him out at Camazots Comics.
Como una rosa entre espinar salta, mi amor. Como un árbol de frutas es mi amor.
Music provided to the show by Sin Color. Follow at Sin Color Music. And of course, follow the podcast at myprimospodcast.com. And Primos, check out that Kickstarter for Camazots Comics, Volume 2. Take care, Primos, and remember, no matter where you're from, we're all Primos. Take care of each other, check in on each other, and we'll see you next time. Adios.